Okay, ladies and gentlemen, E3 is over. It is time to talk about the games that were announced during the event. Well, at least it's time for me to talk about the games announced, because I am slow as shit when it comes down to stuff like this. Now, I ain't gonna be talking about the conferences themselves, because I really couldn't care, and I ain't gonna be talking about any consoles that got announced either, if any got announced. I'm focused on the games themselves, though I ain't talking about every single game that got announced. I'm only talking about the games that I'm interested in or caught my eye, and like 1 or 2 games that people will have my ass if I didn't talk about. Now, with that all out of the way, these are my thoughts on E3 2019. The new Dynamax thing is questionable, only because of how people are still alive during a Pokemon match in a gym. I mean, I know people already said that, but still, I just gotta question it. I am glad to have gyms back, because I didn't really like the Island Challenge thing that the last generation had, and it's also kind of the reason why I only put like 3 minutes into Sun and Moon. Now, I may stream that game one day if I can get my hands on a 3DS capture card, but that was still just a major setback for me in that game. Getting back on track, I really ain't interested in this new raid battle thing. It just seems like a waste of cartridge space. Basically, a team of 4 fight a Pokemon that raid a Repulsa grew, and that's kind of it. I mean, you can capture it, but I may try a couple of raid battles, but I don't think it's something I'll get into. Now, I do love all the new Pokemon designs that we've seen so far, and for starters, I'm mainly a Water-type starter, but I may go with Scorbunny as my starter. I'm not really sure about it, but I'm just having doubts with Sobble. The only Pokemon design I didn't like is Corviknight. I think it may have to do with the in-game model, but I just didn't like it. The color scheme seems a little too dark for my liking, but maybe when I play the game I'll like the design, but that's for November. I also think I've been watching too much Tokusatsu, mainly because I immediately thought that the new legendaries looked like Zords. In fact, when the games were first announced, I immediately thought of the Wild Force Megazord and the Sword and Shield mode. Though story-wise, I have no clue why they started fighting, and then stopped fighting to fight something else. I guess we'll find out when we find out, but I kinda wish we saw some sort of shadow of what's to come. The new human designs are great, except for the new grass gym leader, Milo. The head does not match the body at all, and actually belongs on the body of a kid, and not on a body of a dude that's ripped on steroids. I also heard that this game's gonna have some voice acting, and for the mainline Pokemon series, that's saying a lot. Hopefully it'll be better than the English voice acting for Breath of the Wild, and seriously, I don't care what country Zelda's voice actress is from, her performance was just not good. Now, this may piss some people off, but I've never had an interest in Final Fantasy VII. A lot of people seem to really love this game, but there's just one part about it that has always drove me away from it. That is the battle system, and don't get me wrong, I love JRPGs, but the way that this game handles the battle system I just really hate. I personally don't like waiting for a bar to fill up in order to attack, and there are only 2 games that I've played that has a system like this, and they're Chrono Trigger and an RPG Maker game called Forever's End. I like these games, but the battle system always got in the way for me. I may return to them at one point in time, but that's for later, and thankfully, at least for me, the battle system is completely different. Well, not completely different, because I believe this is the same exact battle system that Final Fantasy 15 had, and I say believe because, well, I've never played Final Fantasy 15. Shit, the only Final Fantasy game I actually played was Crystal Chronicles, and I'm stalling for some reason, but this game looks great, though I have to ask, why does almost every single character look like Super Butterbuns? I mean, I can say this about all the Final Fantasy games that use a more realistic art style with anime hair, but still. Aside from the characters, the surroundings look beautiful, and I always say games should go for a more unique art style than trying to be realistic, but I still love how this game looks. It's probably going to be dated one of these days, but damn, it's just great. The battle system looks really fun, and the style of it looks great. Whenever I get myself a PS4, I'll make sure to get this because it looks awesome. Hell, I may play through the original version of this game just because of this trailer. Hopefully the gameplay of that game won't turn me away. Now this game is, well, kind of interesting, but I think I need to see some gameplay in order to get a good feel for it. Think of Groundhog Day but more action-packed, and that's really the only way I can describe this game. But again, unless I see some gameplay or some full-out story, I can't really get a word out about it. We do know the basic premise of this game, however, where two characters see the city of Black Reef completely different. This dude thinks of it as a hell on earth, while this chick thinks it's the best place ever because you are completely free. These two are stuck in a time loop of sorts, and they have to kill each other to either stop the cycle or, well, keep it going. Though because of this trailer, I think they're stuck in the loop regardless, because when the dude killed the chick, everything basically started over again. They may not know how this loop really works, but this is the end of my curiosity. I don't think I'll ever be picking up Deathloop. Now this is going to be really quick, but I'm getting this game no matter what, and oh boy, does it look just as awesome as before. Though I don't know what Link and Zelda are looking for, but I'm intrigued. Though that may just be the intrigue and all. But from the looks of the trailer, it looks like Ganon is still technically alive thanks to this Ganondorf body. I heavily enjoyed the first Breath of the Wild, and hopefully there's no weapon degradation. That's one gimmick I hated, and if I have to use a Yahtzee clip for this game, I'm gonna be a little bit pissed. I also hope that Zelda's voice actress is changed, mainly because her performance by Patricia Summerset was not good in my opinion. She, like a lot of characters from that game, sounded so fucking bored with her roles I thought only a set few of English voice actors were actually right for the roles. I also hope that Link actually talks in this game. His voice in the CDI games may have been unbearable, but I think giving him a voice would definitely work. Though that's only if there would be any voice acting in this game. Either way, hopefully we won't have to wait that long for this game, but then again, shit happens. I'm not big on horror movies, so I can't really comment on the quality of the Blair Witch Project, but the new game simply titled Blair Witch looks awesome. You play as a detective trying to locate a missing person in the forest from the movie. Now the trailer didn't really show off much, but it was effective. The gameplay preview we got looks interesting, but I need more of it because I really didn't see any shadow of what's to come. We saw like one enemy, but thankfully we can actually fight back towards them. Not to put down games like Outlast, but having the ability to fight back in a way can actually make the experience better. Though fighting back isn't in the traditional sense, mainly because you don't have a gun or a melee weapon. You use this flashlight to fight back, and it's weird, but I guess it makes sense. Though I can't really say this game is one that I'm looking forward to, only because, well, I haven't seen the original Blair Witch. Yeah, I didn't like Tales of Symphonia, but unfortunately there's an anime for it, so a follow-up will be inbound. For my review of the game, you can click the card that should have popped up by now, but in short, I just didn't like it. I thought they could have done better with the presentation because each character had an emotionless face for the majority of the game, and I thought a lot of story segments came the fuck out of nowhere. Watching through the Super Gaming Brothers playthrough, there is a lot of story segments I have missed, so hopefully the anime will give me new perspective on the story. I doubt it, not because of my bias towards the game, but just because an adaptation of a video game into a TV series tends to cut out way too much, doubly so if it's a movie. It's the same reason why I stopped watching Persona 5 the animation, though I gotta keep at it mainly because of the same reason for Tales of Symphonia. Tales of Arise, on the other hand, looks beautiful and pretty fun, though the mechanics from my understanding has been changed, though we haven't seen enough of the gameplay to see how it got changed. I can't really get a good read on the story with the trailer itself, though it does have my interest. Whenever I get the system upgraded or when I get a PS4 or Xbox One, I'll definitely be picking this game up. Well, this was a surprise, but then again, I didn't really get into Yooka-Laylee. I heard some good and I heard some bad about the game, but now they want to actually make the series into their own instead of a spiritual successor to the Banjo-Kazooie series. The game is now a 2D platformer and a top-down exploration game. Now the game looks pretty basic, but I do love the attempt to make the series its own. The 2D side-scrolling part is the segment I think looks a little basic. From the level design shown in the Treehouse Live event, it really didn't stand out to me. It could have been better, but obviously looking at the game is different from while really playing it. The top-down segments is pretty much the game's overworld, but you have puzzles to solve to get to more stages. The top-down segment is pretty much the game's overworld, but you have puzzles to solve in order to unlock more stages. But they look a little cramped for my liking. Though it's a nice addition, and going back on the levels themselves, though they may look basic in my opinion, you get an incentive to not get hit at all. This is because if you get hit, you lose Laylee, and the game just became a little bit harder. You have a chance to save Laylee, but if you don't get to her in time, some of the moves either got nerfed, or well, you can't activate them without Laylee. It's a cool mechanic, and I also love that the overworld affects the levels themselves, because the puzzles you solve may actually change up the levels. When you beat a level, you get an ally that will help you out in the final area. It's mainly just taking a hit for you, but that's what I got from the Treehouse Live event. This game looks fun, and hopefully the new leg it's standing on will give this game a new identity. I'll definitely be getting Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair whenever it gets released. The Zelda series has been the only fantasy series I really gotten into. I never really liked stuff like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. They just never interested me. But I was actually surprised on this announcement back in February about a remake of Link's Awakening. I never played this game before, I just watched Let's Plays from Chuck Conroy, Josh Jepson, and the SGB crew. I did like what I saw, however, but just never got around to playing them. I did like what I saw, however, but I just never got around to playing the game itself. Though this game looks great, but I don't really like the design of the characters. I just don't really like the beady eyes each character has. I just feel like I'm watching an episode of South Park. Though that's just all of the human characters. All of the non-human characters look great. The new E3 trailer shows off more gameplay, but there's one thing I really do not like. That's the fact that you still have only 2 item slots. I can understand it in the original Game Boy/Game Boy Color release, only because there's only 4 buttons on there. But the Switch has more buttons to be used. The one thing I like is a new addition to make your own dungeon layout. There's a new chamber dungeon thing, and talking to Dampé will allow you to make your own dungeon. Each challenge with this mode will give you more options for your own dungeon, though the downside is you can't really pick what's inside each room of the dungeon. Now that's a bit of a bummer, but it really shouldn't impede this mode. Other than that, it looks like everything from the original game is included here, even exclusive stuff from the DX version. This is definitely one game that I'm gonna get. I actually never played a No More Heroes game, but damn, this looks awesome! This is another game that I am gonna get, but the one thing that I wasn't expecting is the Kamen Rider reference. In fact, the costume looks like a mix of Kamen Rider Fourze and Kamen Rider Exia. Hopefully that's an upgrade you can get, but since the series started on the Wii, I'm guessing there's going to be motion controls with the Joy-Cons, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be non-motion controls for this game. Though I have no clue what to expect with this game, so hopefully it will be a fantastic surprise. I have yet to play Luigi's Mansion game, and the funny thing is, whenever my mother took me to an EB Games to get a new game for my GameCube, she actually pointed me towards the game. But I think I got a different game instead, and the GameCube mic, I believe. Though watching a couple of Let's Plays makes me wish I did get the game, and Luigi's Mansion 3 looks awesome. Luigi and the gang are invited to a special hotel, and well, yeah, it's haunted. With the new poltergust that Luigi has, he can fuck fuck up any ghost just by slamming them on the ground. Now this will decrease the HP of the ghost you're currently sucking up, but you can also use that ghost to fuck up another one. Just like in Smash, you can use the suction cup to grab stuff, and now this is used to solve puzzles and rip some shields from enemies. He also has a burst attack that is mainly used for crowd control, so hopefully it's better than the shotgun in DMC2. It's also used as some sort of jump, so it's probably going to be connected to some sort of platforming challenge. And Luigi, he makes a return from the first game's remake, and not only is he there for multiplayer, but he can do things that Luigi cannot do. Now for multiplayer, I wish it was split screen because I never liked the whole screen zooming in and out thing. It got annoying in games that had it, but hopefully it won't be that bad, but I think I'll stick with single player. Even then, I may pick this game up, but at the moment, I just need to see more of it. Well, damn, this is one series that I completely forgot about. I only have 2 games in the Sonic Mario at the Olympic Games series. Those being the DS version of the first game and the Wii version of the Winter Games. Though for this new installation they definitely added some new events. I don't really watch the Olympics, so I'm surprised that skateboarding is in this game, but my standard Swiss skateboarding games is, well, Tony Hawk Underground 2. This is one of my favorite games of all time, and though I'm not expecting Thug 2 to actually be this event, I'm just hoping we have full control of the skateboard. Hopefully this game will be pretty fun, and I'm probably gonna get it, but with how short this segment is, I think I'm just gonna forget about it pretty soon. Well, that's everything I wanted to talk about, and to be honest, this E3 was something I was having a lot of trouble getting my thoughts out about. There are some games that either got announced or given more information on, and one of those games called Death Stranding, I just couldn't actually get my thoughts out about the new trailer we got. The game looks great, and thank God we didn't see the main character rip his toenail out again, but that's just me. Though, what are your thoughts on E3 2019? Let me know in the comments below. And just to give y'all a heads up about future videos I have, I plan a re-review of Sonic Adventure 2, and I'm also going to follow up my Full Metal Alchemist reviews with a video about the live-action movie. So I hope y'all look forward to that, and I'll see y'all next time.